Wow. I feel like there's so much in the background now. I like it. Anyway, hey guys, my name is Victoria. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm filming the, I think, anti-TBR tag because it's new month. I haven't filmed a tag yet. Something feels wrong. If you've been around here for a while, you know that I really like tags because I think it's the easiest way to share information about my reading preferences. And I have done it in the past and I will continue to do so because I believe they will change throughout time. And there are so many amazing book tags, and I did want to film this one because I have filmed the anti-book tag. If you want to watch that, it's on my channel, where I basically talk about things that are non-book related. But today we will be talking about the books that I don't really want to read. Just a quick disclaimer, just because I might think that I won't like a book or I'm not interested in a certain author, please don't feel offended if you feel the exact opposite. Everyone has their own likings, everyone has their own preferences, and that's what I really like about BookTube, because no one is the same. Do keep in mind that my answers might change, but we will be talking about that when we go through the list of the questions. Let's start. Question number 1. A popular book everyone loves that you have no interest in reading. I feel like there are a lot of fantasy trilogies or series, or maybe standalones, that are very popular right now that I'm not really interested in reading. Whenever I see them on TikTok or on BookTube, I'm just really not interested. And I'm so sorry if I now talk about your favorite book or your favorite book series, but I think I'm gonna choose Shadow and Bone, Throne of Glass. I think From Blood and Ash is also a candidate. I'm not sure, I'm not really interested. I barely know anything about these books, and I know that they're fantasy and I really like fantasy, but I'm not really drawn to any of it right now. And I saw some people review these books, and there are some things that I'm just really not interested in. If I had to choose one, it would probably be From Blood and Ash. A classic book or author you don't have an interest in reading. I'm gonna answer this question with a book, and I chose War and Peace by Leo Tolstoy. It's so huge. I don't know, it's really discouraging seeing such a book, especially if you know it's a classic, and sometimes if you read classics before, you know that they're sometimes really slow paced. I'm not sure. I could see myself reading this book or listening to it just to make conversation. Even though it's said to have very diverse and very different characters, so the 3 main characters are said to be very different. Yeah, it's so huge. And I'm a little bit intimidated by it. So maybe in a couple of years, but right now I'm really not interested in reading it. Next question. A problematic author whose books you have no interest in reading. I'm gonna choose any Colleen Hoover books. They're pretty hyped. I don't know if It Ends With Us. If that's the book by her, I'm not sure. I'm really not interested in the story. I have read books by controversial authors, I just want to say that. I'm not a saint. Controversial authors is such a shitty topic because, for me at least, it makes me enjoy a book a little bit less, or it makes it harder to talk about because people might assume that you stand behind the author's opinions, but most of the time, a lot of people don't even know about the author's background or controversy. I feel like there's a small line between, obviously you should educate yourself, but also you can enjoy a book. An author you have read a couple of books from and have decided their books are not for you. I actually have a lot of authors that I've read so far that for me write very dense and empty, not very artistic poetry. Rupi Kaur, Atticus, Amanda Lovelace, Courtney Pepinell. I read a book by each of these authors. I've read every single Rupi Kaur book, and I wish I didn't because it was a waste of time, but it was very educational on how I don't want to write. So that's what I got out of that. But I have made a video called Writing Poetry, and I write a little bit of poetry in it, but I also talk a lot about this modern kind of poetry that I am not a huge fan of. This kind of writing is absolutely not for me, and if you want to read poetry, I highly recommend anyone else. It's sad that I have to say it, but this is kind of like a category of authors because they all write the same. Enough ranting. Sorry, I get really passionate about this. 5th question. A genre you have no interest in, or a genre you tried to get into and couldn't. I really don't have an answer to that. In the beginning of starting this BookTube channel, I said I have no idea what my favorite genre is, and people actually told me, you don't really need to have a favorite genre, you can just read whatever you want. And that's why I'm not really genre specific and say, whatever sounds interesting. I have an affinity to fiction, obviously. I'm not the biggest fan of non-fiction, speaking of like educational books, like textbooks, which is bad But my favorite way of educating myself on like very reality-based things and not talking about mythology or anything are documentaries. So that's how I get most of my knowledge. Number 6, a book you have bought but will never read. This can be a book you have on hold, returned to the library unread. I can only tell you about a book that I will probably never finish, and it's Captive Prince by C.S. Packet. I talked about this in my June wrap-up because I've tried reading it in June and I really didn't like it. I wasn't a fan of the characters at all. A prince is banished, sent into another kingdom, actually the enemy's kingdom, where he has to live and sort of serve as a slave. And I thought this was going to be interesting because I usually am a fan of fantasy and rivalry. It flopped. I didn't like it, so I put it down. So that's the book I have no interest in continuing to read. Number 7, a series you have no interest in reading, or a series you started and have DNF'd. A series that I started and DNF'd would be like Captive Prince, but I don't want to give you guys the same answer, but maybe I'm gonna choose Game of Thrones. Not interested. Really not, I'm so sorry. This might be really hard because I'm not sure about my answer, but I'm not really interested in reading Lord of the Rings. I don't like to mention it because I do get some backlash whenever I say I have not watched all of the movies. I watched the first one, obviously, and the majority of the third one, so I know what it's about. I'm so sorry if anyone's a huge fan of that. Maybe I will get into it, maybe sometime I will listen to the books, but I'm really not interested in reading them. Number 8, a new release you have no interest in reading. This is a book that I thought, oh yeah, I definitely want to read it, until I found out what it's gonna be about, because it is called Neon Gods by Katie Robert. I'm not sure how you say it, and it's a retelling of Hades and Persephone and Greek mythology. So absolutely, I will read every single retelling there is, but then I found out it's a modern retelling. Not really interested in that, and there's apparently a lot of graphic sex in there. I don't mind very explicit content, but if it's all about that, and if it's the majority of the book, I'm like, not my biggest selling point. So I love Greek mythology so much, and I love learning about these characters when they are the characters and when they really experience the same things that were told or that are told throughout the centuries. Which is kind of sad because I thought, oh yeah, I'm gonna read this, and then I thought, nah. Probably not. This was the video and I hope you liked it, and if you did, please give me a thumbs up and comment down below, as always, what you would like to see next. Please give me some video suggestions. What would you like to see? What are some books that really don't pique your interest and you're like, I'm never gonna read this book, even though a lot of people say that it's great? I would love to know. I would love to know everything. Subscribe to this channel if you haven't yet, and don't forget to click, guess what? The little bell next to the subscription button to never miss an upload. This is getting very old for old subscribers who watch my video till the end, because they know there's gonna be bloopers. By the way, almost all of my videos have bloopers, so you should definitely stay until the end. I upload every single Thursday and Sunday, and I update you guys on everything on my Instagram. Here's also my poetry account. I'm posting again. Here's my Twitter. All of my social media is linked down below. And I think this is it. The only thing I can say now is thank you so much for watching, guys. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I'll hopefully see you in my next video. Okay. Bye! Oops. I'm so tired. Qu'est-ce que c'est? No. I'm not clumsy at all. I put the book down. I killed the book. What? What did I just say? That's so weird. I am Confucian. Question number 1. I don't know, guys. Okay, thumbnail. What? What was that?